Hello, 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 and welcome to a Monday night, which is not like a Saturday night, Monday night, shadow us
No,
with a
definitely not Saturday.
St. Patrick's special. So instead of doing our Saturday night as usual, we're doing Monday night. And why not? I'm going to start off by saying, Sloanta with a pint of Guinness.
It's a well to toast here because I'm Scottish and I don't have a clue what you're talking about. So here we go. There's my canny zesty beverage.
This isn't necessary alcohol, but I
Wow,
am drinking, however.
I'm going to say,
Ripper.
Nick, that is well green. That is, you know,
Yeah.
hallucinogenic. I feel like one of the know that I've ever been like.
Yeah.
that.
Cup is green. I'm drinking Green River, so I'm all set.
Wow.
I'm all good to go.
This is really nice. This Guinness is really nice. I've been waiting all day for this.
They say the Guinness in Ireland's better than anywhere else.
It is the nectar of the gods. It's the nectar of the gods.
I've never had it. Never had it.
It's disgusting.
When you come over to Ireland, we'll give you a pint of Guinness. We'll give you a wee timble of Guinness first, and then try it first, and then we'll be good. I'm going to say hi to a few folks.
This is going for somebody that's 43 years old and never drunk in their entire life.
You can have a baby Guinness.
Until we get to Ireland. Diddly-eye,
Dear Jesus. You got a wheelbarrow to carry me?
Okay, I live beside Europe's oldest pub.
Right, listen, and you're in Ireland, there's a wheelbarrow somewhere.
A wheelie bin. Hey, shut the lid if it's raining.
Jenny, hey, love to see you here. Great chat today, very funny. We have Iron Fire here. Hello, my darling, how are you? We have Emma H. How are you doing? I was going to say, something else. We have Chris. There you are, Chris. Oh my God.
Yes, that's me. Yes, the owner.
Love the
I'm in the chat now.
Sure. Sure. Hi, Iron Fire saying hi to everyone. My darling Miss Chantel.
Chantel.
Hi, Chantel. Hi, everybody. And Jenny saying hi, Chantel. Now, my computer might go a little laggy, but that's just how my computer. We need to stop meeting this way, Jenny. I know, right? It's every day, all day. I'm fine. Not drinking, but smoking some green stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I'll be having my sweeties after.
Puff, pass.
Yeah. Oh God.
I just took onto that puff, pass. Oh, okay. Listen. There's a few stories I could tell you about that. There really is. There really is. Smoking shamrocks. Nancy, my love. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too, over there, all the way over to America. What's this? Wait. Why wait?
Why wait till after? That's a good thing. Maybe I was just saying that, you know.
I'm laughing at Jenny saying, do tell. There's been many times when, everything was, when you get it, when everything is just funny.
Mm-hmm.
I remember sitting out in a party one night and, we were kind of like doing what we were doing. Everything was absolutely hilarious. But that's all I'm saying for now.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Horse is my
yeah, totally, right? Totally. It's Chantel. Right, tonight.
Yes.
What are we doing tonight?
Well, here's a question. There's a question for somebody that doesn't really know what St. Patrick's Day is actually about. I know it's about a patron saint that passed away or something like that, right? Obviously, I'm Scottish. We don't really celebrate that kind of thing. Well, maybe we do, I don't know. But I know it's a big thing in the United States. I've noticed that because I was watching it when there's like New York and all that. They've got their processions and that because it's St. Patrick's Day today. What is it all about? What is St. Patrick's Day about? Do tell.
Jacqueline?
Okay.
On you.
Well, St. Patrick, not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't know whether you celebrate St. Patty's Day which is absurd, or Paddy's Day, casually racist, or St. Patrick's Day. It's patron saint of Ireland. Shocker, wasn't Irish.
No.
Welsh. Yes, he's Welsh.
Right.
And he never performed a miracle. And he also, but he is credited with spreading Christianity to Ireland. So it's celebrated the world over. I think that's spread by the Irish diaspora because we're everywhere. Can't get rid of us. We're like, cockroaches. And for Shocked in the Gaeilge, which is Irish Week, I'm going to use my cúpla focal, which is very few cúpla focal. And I'm going to say, St. Patrick, not my cup on tea. Have to say, not my cup of tea. So he is credited with banishing all the snakes from Ireland. Okay, so who are the snakes? Is the question. It is kind of accepted now that is the snakes represent the Druids or the pagan people that were already populating Ireland. So I do think that, and they're responsible. Those pagan people and Druids are responsible for building all the cairns, megalithic tombs that are dotted all over Ireland. And I think that it's not without historic value that he did banish the snakes from Ireland.
Right.
So I have a little story if you want to hear it about St. Patrick.
Jacqueline,
I'm going to make it quick. It's not going to be long.
I just want to say,
and I don't know if I have internet. So.
No, you're right. I just want to say, Chantal is saying, what should you call me? Cúpla focal?
Well,
Oh no! I knew that would happen. I knew that would happen. A cúpla focal would be like oh Jesus, Jennifer, get your words
right. A couple of words.
A couple of words.
In Irish.
A cúpla focal, a couple of words, and cup on tea is a cup of tea. A cúpla focal is a couple of words, and a cup on tea is a cup of tea.
It is not great. I have.
We lost you.
Yeah. That just dropped out.
Patrick's Day.
So I don't know if my internet will hold, but I do have a story for you about St. Patrick and the Cairthonic, which is craic, which means witcher hag, and also known as the Red Lady. And she was also known as the Mother of Satan. So there you go. But St. Patrick on his travels all over Ireland with his lovely little shamrock came to spread Christianity to all of Ireland. So on his travels, he got a vision, as all good saints do, and toddled off to what we now call Craic, which is a mountain, and I've climbed it. It's not easy.
I'll take your
and
word
there's
for
still
it.
pilgrimages to this people do for St. Patrick. But unfortunately for St. Patrick, it was already occupied by the craic. And she wasn't willing to give it up to Patrick. So she called her army, who's called the Slua. And the Slua were credited with, if anyone who crossed their path, they take their souls. I think this is where maybe the Mother of Satan stuff comes from. So they take the souls of anyone that passed by, and you were stuck with them forever, and you had to join the hunt. So you became a member of the Slua. And so herself and Patrick had a bit of so she sent her army anyway, the Slua, to try and slay Patrick. So Patrick decided, I'm going to pray here because I'm on my own. What can I do? I'm going to pray. And he was sent a great wind, and it blew the Slua army out to sea. But the Slua is connected to crows, or my favourite Irish word, craic. And that left the craic. And they had a great battle at the top of Crowpatrick, and they battled for 2 days and 2 nights with a spell and prayers. And eventually the craic was beaten, and she fled St. Patrick up to Donegal up to Lough Derg. And Patrick followed her, and they had another battle above there. The craic swallowed him, and he fought his way out of her stomach with his crosier. So, and that is what her blood turned the lake, which is now Lough Derg, because Derg is the like for red. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Patrick, I'm not a fan, but I have to say, in my opinion, considering the amount of celebration that goes on for St. Patrick's Day, the amount of drinking, the amount of carousing, the amount of partying, and it goes on the world over, I have to say that when I think about that kind of way that we celebrate a very Catholic saint, wouldn't be the normal way we kind of celebrate him, I have to kind of think that maybe it's a bit like the great feasts after Samhain and dancing at the crossroads at Lunasa. So I'm not quite sure one, but it sounds an awful lot like karma when you consider that they were pagan traditions of drinking, dancing, having a great time. So I'm not quite sure that the craic didn't win in the end, to be quite honest with you. So whichever way you celebrate St. Patrick's Day, I think that St. Patrick obviously banished our pagans, but I'm not quite sure that he won in the end, to be quite honest with you. And that's it. That's the end of my story, St. Patrick.
Well, that's perfect, because you knew a lot more than what I did. And not only saying that, but we all know, anyone who knows will know St. Patrick is originally from Wales. He's Welsh, you know.
Wales, yeah.
They celebrate
St. Patrick.
Sorry?
Maewyn Succat was his name.
Maewyn Succat. But they celebrate St. Patrick's Day all around the world. And we know there's many people who are expats of Ireland living in every country. Mexico, Canada, America, Spain, Italy, you name it, they celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It just is a worldwide national day.
It really is.
Right?
Even parts of South America and Australia are now celebrating it.
Yeah. And I've seen Mexico as well.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, I lived in Australia 30 years ago, and we celebrated St. Patrick's Day. Mexico, I can see, because the Irish were off in America and were meant to fight the Mexicans. And when they got to Mexico, they decided, hang on, the Mexicans, you're not interested, so they swapped sides. So, yeah.
They swapped sides, they sure did. And isn't it crazy, right? It's crazy. I have to put my glasses back on. A leprechaun wearing glasses. Isn't it crazy the way the whole world, you know, and it's very a proud thing to say that the whole world celebrates St. Patrick's Day. It really is. It's a good thing. And we get a lot of people saying, oh, my 400 great granddads was Irish. And, you know, it's kind of like, I tell you now, it's a little tedious at this stage. And I want to say something right now. And we have been saying it for every year for many, many, many years. Okay? It is St. Patrick's Day or St. Paddy's Day. It is not St. Patty's Day. Paddy is Patrick. Patty is Patricia.
Yeah.
We're not doing St. Patty's Day. And sometimes we see it, and I don't know how many times I see it for many, many, many years. It's St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's Day. And so many people say, I'm half Irish, I've got Irish in me, but you still say St. Patty's. We're going to say, no, it's St. Patrick's Day.
It doesn't bother me.
Oh, whoops.
It doesn't bother me either, to a point. It just doesn't bother me too much. Maybe I just seem too much. But listen, Paddy, and I know a lot of people don't like patties, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's still St. Patrick's Day.
I just find it odd that the way it's celebrated, there is no other saint that has this kind of carousing and alcohol drinking and partying and dancing and all that, except Patrick.
Right, there's pickle there. Pickles there. There's pickles in the chat tonight. Hi, pickle.
Well,
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
To basically just throw this out, although there isn't like really another day like that with the same. I mean, there is sort of, but it's not as heavily celebrated. And it's obviously the very next day, which is St. Joseph's Day, which of course obviously is more for the Italians in this case, which I'm also part Italian as well. So my dad's always telling me, because for being the Italian side in this case, my dad's always saying, well, you celebrate St. Patrick's Day, well, what about St. Joseph's Day? And I've told them, thinking, well, there's not really too much that we could do, like as far as decorations and stuff are concerned. Although in addition to this Irish flag, I do have an Italian flag too.
Oh, well, you see, but aren't they very similar? Should I say that, or people give out to me if I say that?
I will say it is a little bit.
That's up to you. You're Irish.
I mean, they are a little bit similar because it's like white, orange, and green for Irish, and then red, orange. Oh, sorry, red, white, and green.
Right, and it's kind of like a little bit. I'm going to say what I'm going to say is a tiny bit the same. And I tell you, when I went to Italy on a holiday or a wedding, I cried coming home, and it wasn't because I had to fly home. It was because I did not want to leave Italy.
Right.
I felt like Italy was my home. When you go to different countries and you feel like, you're a foreigner and you're X, Y, Z, I felt like Italy was my home. Like when I listen to them talk, I literally think I understand what they're saying. I have no idea what they're saying, but I feel like
that might have been the gin.
Nah, here's a bottle.
I know exactly what you were saying about the flag. It's got an Italian one, similar to the Irish. I mean, they definitely do look similar, but obviously the colors, including like, for example, even though both the Irish and Italian flags have green and white to it, I mean, with the exception of the orange and red, the different colors. So they obviously kind of do have the same colors, but they do have different meanings to them, obviously.
I have to say, someone like me at the age of my life right now, I don't know if I'm going colorblind or my glasses need glasses, because I tell you, I would be legally blind right now because my glasses are just not working anymore, because my colors are just, I know my colors, obviously I know my colors, but oh my gosh, my glasses need glasses. Do you ever get like that your glasses need glasses? My glasses need glasses. You're looking at me like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
That might be
don't wear glasses. Sorry, Jenny.
That might be age related.
Oh dear, where am I here?
I took what Jacqueline said to me in my mind when I was looking at something last night, and I was reading it, and I was like, Jacqueline saying it's age related. And then my daughter put my glasses over my glasses, whole glasses over my glasses. And I'm thinking like, how very dare you? It's kind of like, oh my God. It's no wonder my glasses are getting more expensive, because they have to be shaved down even more, because otherwise they'll be bottled end glasses by the time. Seriously. It's getting worse. It's getting worse for me, I have to say. And I remember going into Specsavers after the gym one time, and I know I'm completely. That's nice. That's nice.
That's lovely.
Look at that, man.
I remember going into Specsavers one time, and I said to her, listen, I need my eyes rechecked. And I know I'm completely going off track. I'm Irish, and that's what we do. And I said to her, I need, my eyes tested again. She goes, oh, Mrs. Sullivan, you were checked like 6 months ago. What's your date of birth? And I told her that my date of birth. And she said, oh, it's just age related. Do you just realize today was my arm gym day? My arm was gym day.
I have better than 20/20 vision.
You see, because you're young. Definitely not young.
It goes, it starts to fade when you hit 40. I've hit 43.
40 is so far away. Can't even fathom being 40.
I just always just make it simple. I just simply say, loss of control is the first thing to go, obviously.
The world will probably have ended by the time I hit 40, so I'm not worried.
Oh, yeah. Bethany. Okay, Bethany. Okay. I'm just going to fix my little hand here now. I'm going to go through some of the comments here now for a second. Hold on. What's this? Tomato. You say tomato, I say tomato. We have a fabulous lady joining us now. This is Emma from beautiful Norfolk. She is joining us tonight. She was out today having a few dinners and a few dinners. I'm going to say dinners, and that's an excuse for Guinnesses.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I may have enjoyed a dinner of the black stuff.
Guinness is a meal.
Now I'm on the Jamesons, so
okay, girl. Okay.
It's easing into the evening.
My goodness. And do you know what? I'm just going to beer this time. Yeah, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to comment here very quickly. The green is for the orange is for northern unity, and the white is for neutrality and peace. That is true. Yep, that's Gillian.
The Irish flag is. Yep.
Right. I tried to earn a pair of dollars to a reading. Well, you see, I do too. I probably use them more in bed because I fall asleep wearing them and I burn the arms. So wait until you hit 60. I'm very far off.
I don't worry, we'll give you a white cane when you get to 60.
So what I'm going to do, what I didn't do earlier, and I should have said what I should have introduced you guys. And I didn't do it at the beginning because that's how just, I was doing too many things today. So I'm going to start off with, let me think. Bethany.
Hi. What do you want me to do?
Mix up muff is fine. Just make it
a recitation.
Right, what part of the team you're on, what you do, and so on and so on.
I'm Bethany.
And
I'm part of Emerald Isle. I feel like I'm in AA.
Just do it, girls. Just do it. So, okay,
that's about it.
What got you into the paranormal?
I've always been into it since I was a kid because Jacqueline is my mother, so it makes sense. It's just the way I was brought up. Always in graveyards. So that was just the thing we did when we were kids. We probably spent more time on Mart Cemetery than we did in Disneyland when we went to Paris when I was 10. Yeah, I've just always loved it. When I was a kid, I used to only really read ghost stories and things like that. So yeah,
somebody's going to call social services on me.
No, I love graveyards.
And then I put up a post.
Graveyards are great. I love graveyards.
And then Jacqueline seen it. She goes, "Oh, we're too far away." And she goes, "Me and my daughter." I'm like, "It doesn't matter how far away you are. As long as you're into it, it's good." And so we have worked together in locations, and we're looking forward to our next location, which will be not this week, next week. So I'm so looking forward to that. That's going to be a fantastic night. Emma, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Emma. I live in Bristol. I'm originally from Norfolk. My granddad was from Thomastown and Kilkenny, so I've got the Irish heritage there. And I also lived in Cork and Dublin for a time. And I got into a bit of the old ghost hunting when I was in Dublin many moons ago. Not really kind of done much of that in Bristol, but I've been doing a bit of writing around the paranormal since I've been here, and I've had a few bits and pieces published in Haunted Magazine, in Unexplained IE, and I've had one of my mum's stories. She's the one that got me into all of this. I've had a retelling of that published in was it Hidden Haunts England. And I've got a little piece of mine coming out, I think this week, in the Feminine Macabre. So enjoying the old writing at the moment, and also enjoying the old Jamesons too. Sláinte.
Yes, Sláinte. And then we'll go a little bit, because I know people who know us and some people who've been watching before who does not know us. We're going to go with, I'm going to start with the ladies as well. I'm going to go with Jacqueline.
Okay, what do you want to know? Part of Emerald Isle. Jenny is our founder.
That's nice. That's nice.
You are.
Yeah, part of Emerald Isle. Love. Have done quite a bit on my own with Bethany. Interested. I come from a family who have myriad ghost tales of their own. I think probably the thing that mostly got me interested in kind of paranormal and unexplained, actually, more than anything else, was an incident that happened when I was in primary school. It's ridiculous, but I just couldn't work out how far, which is an interesting question, how far is something go before it tips over from coincidence? So Jenny knows this. It was, a couple of things have happened to me over the years. I woke up, you'll be interested in this, Chris. I woke up in my teens, and there was a Scottish £5 note folded under my pillow.
Wow.
I didn't know Scotland had their own didn't know Scotland had their own currency. It was a very different world. You're talking about pre-internet, pre-anything. I just woke up. I can't explain it. It's still in the attic somewhere. It's folded up the way I found it, folded up kind of into.
Is it the old? Is it the old?
It would be the old. I don't know.
You know, that is so weird. That is weird, because I was going through some of my mum's stuff the other day. And do you know what I found? I found some old money, Scottish money.
This would have been in the kind of 1987. So I don't know about sterling notes. So I don't know, but it would have been around what year the note was. I don't know.
Give me a minute. I'll be back in a minute. I'll get it.
But the one thing that happened to me when I was a kid was my mum, she worked in a hotel, and she brought home this Parker. Now this is late 1970s, early 1980s, and she brought home a steel Parker pen, and the lid was missing off. If you remember them, they were like, there was a lovely top on them, and then you'd have a steel this part, and the top of the steel part was gold, and the little Parker arrow on the top of the steel part would have been gold, but the lid was missing off it. There was never a lid with it. It was the old pens that you suck up the ink with. And she brought it home, and she gave it to me because I went to a convent school, and we had to learn in second class. We would have learned cursive writing. So you transition from pencils onto ink pens, or biros onto ink pens, to learn cursive writing, which is a specific style of writing. And never had a lid for it. And one Friday morning, with a friend of mine, Janice Clancy, if you're listening, hardly, but hello, Janice. We went into the post office to buy 5p saving stamps. And I used to get 25p worth of 5p saving stamps. And she did the same. And you stuck it into a little book, and then you eventually had £5. And just what we did on a Friday morning. And I'll never forget, it was black and white little Victorian tiles on the floor of the post office. Two little old ladies ran the post office. And I remember Janice Clancy, who had black patent ankle strap shoes that were popular at the time, with little white turnover socks with frills on them. And I remember pointing her toe on the floor, and right at her foot, there was the lid of the Parker pen. I had the pen about 2 months, really, and there was the lid, the exact lid for the Parker pen. Now you're talking about the late 70s, early 80s, so this would not have been a popular pen. She worked in a hotel where a lot of American people stayed, so I presume it came from America, because it was a very expensive pen. It was actually real gold. The nib on it was real gold. The little arrow on it was entire gold, and the little top on it was little. And I found the lid off of the Parker pen, the exact lid off the Parker pen, and I always wonder how far is this.
Okay, just one second.
Yeah, I've been hearing that too. Like
It's a TV.
Yeah, I've been hearing some kind of.
It's somebody's TV.
Hey, Joanne.
Okay, is it gone? Is it gone now?
I'm not
Okay.
hearing. No.
Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Grant. Okay, sorry. So Nancy's saying, no, I'm saying I can't follow what she's saying.
So it was a pen. I found the pen. There was no lid to the pen. It was a very expensive pen. And about 3 months later, always wanted the lid of it. But about 3 months later, I was in the post office and there was no pen on the ground, but what was on the ground was a lid for the pen, the top. In those days, like ink pens had a separate top that went on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the lid on the ground, and I picked it up and I had a whole pen with a lid, and no idea what happened to it since. It was a very expensive pen. And I just wonder how far does something go before it tips over from coincidence into something else? And that's what got me interested. And that's it.
Right.
It's quite weird because, see, you talked about the money. I was going through some stuff the other day and I found some money. My mother must have put them away a long time ago. This is a pound note, obviously. We don't get pound notes anymore. But this is 1975, this one.
Wow.
So
I can't remember. It looks very similar, actually.
So that's the Bank of Scotland, obviously. That's the Scottish 1975. And then
I have no idea
there's 1984. This one's 1984.
Show me that one.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that looks, actually, I'd say it could be an 80s note.
And then
that I woke up with under my pillow.
We have this one, but this one's quite a modern one. They get rid of the pound. When did they get rid of the pound note? When did they get rid of the pound note in the UK? Can anybody help me in the chat? This one is 1999. So this was one of the last. 1999, Royal Bank of Scotland. And it's always the case in Scotland. See if you ever take money for Scotland to England, England will not accept Scottish currency, but we'll accept.
I genuinely had no idea that Scotland had their own sterling until I woke up with the £5 note under my pillow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't know. I just wonder, like, I have no explanation for it. It just goes into the little file in my brain that says unexplained. But I just wonder, I'm curious to know what people think, whether something where the tipping point is from coincidence into something else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That interests me greatly.
I do know the spirits can do that. They can leave things for people to find.
I have no idea, but I just wonder where it tips over. What makes it from a coincidence into something different?
You see, that's when me and Jacqueline were talking about it. When Jacqueline was saying, like, Jen, I have no idea where it came from. There's no reason for it to be there. And I'm like, did someone not slip it under? Did someone not, just play a trick or whatever? And Jacqueline was adamant. No, absolutely not. And from what I know now of Jacqueline from last year to now, I could tell if she's kind of like, pulling a yarn on me and joking and with me and whatnot. And there's no reason to do that. And every time she tells a story, it's like the same way as if it was yesterday. It's the same thing. It's the same.
I can distinctly remember it. I remember her ankle straps. I remember the black patent. I remember the turned over white socks. I remember the black and white floor. I remember the lid. I didn't see the lid. It was Janice, my friend, saw the lid. And do you know what? I absolutely remember it, because for about 2 weeks later, she was trying to convince me that it was her pen because she found the lid on the floor and wanted to make me give her the pen. And I was like, no, you're not getting the pen. It's my pen. So I just don't know where, like, how coincidental is it that a rare pen, an expensive pen that my mother had given me that was missing a lid, and 3 weeks later or 2 months later or 3 months later, I've no idea the time frame, that you find the lid, the exact lid belonged to that pen. or similar.
It was meant to
So,
happen.
Yeah, I
Do you
don't
think-
know. I can't explain that.
See what? What you go?
People
Sorry?
often talk about weird coincidence, don't they, after someone's passed away? I had one not so long after my mum died as well. So she died end of July 2023. But the last time I'd seen her in April, she was talking to me about this casserole dish, and it was like a 1970s like kind of casserole dish. And I'd always had my eye on it. I can remember all the family meals in it and things like that. And she said to me, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I know, one day you'd like that to inherit that casserole dish, but the lid has actually exploded when I took it out of the oven. So I'll keep an eye out for a lid for that. And when when the day comes, you'll be able to have that with a lid." So anyway, she passed away, and it was probably the week of the funeral. I went over to Norfolk, and we had the funeral, and on one of the kind of downtime days, went to a little charity shop, and I'd never seen that casserole dish anywhere else ever before, and I've been keeping an eye out because I kind of wanted a similar one, even because I thought I'd have to wait a long time to get that one. Walked into this charity shop, and there was that casserole dish with a lid. And I was like, it's almost as if, I'm, like she's almost like looking down and was like, right, there you go, there's your casserole dish, and it's got a brand new lid. So I've got that casserole dish. I've got my mum's one as well, and I've got the new lid. And it was really odd.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, those pictures strangely.
It's crazy the way you think. It's just in a world that we will never figure out. We know a little bit of it, but we will never figure out. And these coincidences and these things that just happen because we think they happen, and so on and so on, and say, oh, it's just a fluke. We will never know. And in my mind, in my heart, I think, yes, it's a fluke. It could be a fluke, or it could be a
Absolutely.
where what they say is like you put it out there, like what Joanne just said, the manifestation. That's it. Manifestation is that you put it out there. Sorry, I know Emma saying manifestation is that you put it out there, and that before even seeing these comments was exactly what I was getting to, is that you put it out there to, if you have it, or if it was a fluke that it was given to you, if that makes sense. So that's the right way to say manifestation. And with Gillian saying, sometimes we need to accept that we won't get the answers that we look for, especially with dealing with a world that is beyond science, which is very true as well.
I agree with that. I have to say, I agree with that statement. Yeah.
So do I.
Right? A fluke, a coincidence, we just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what happened with the pen is anything. I just can't explain it. It just felt odd when it happened, as I'm sure with Emma, your casserole dish felt odd. It hits you kind of in your solar plexus, like it hits you kind of hard. And it's something I never forgot. I would have been 7 at the time, and I've never forgotten it. And the next strange thing that happened was the £5 note sterling under my pillow, and I have absolutely no explain. I cannot explain that. Like you're talking about a world pre-Ryanair that had no cheap flights. I flew to France when I was 14, and I think the flight cost in those days, which was a lot of money, would have been about £600 Irish pounds. So there was no Ryanair, there was no cheap. I wouldn't have been aware that Scotland had a sterling, their own sterling. Sterling to me would have been sterling pounds, English sterling pounds. So I don't know. I can't explain that. And the other thing is a coincidence. I just always wonder, how far do you go before it tips from a coincidence into something else? I'm always curious about that question.
Exactly. So it can be both. It can be both. But what I do want to do is get on to, because the ladies have spoken about how we know each other and what we got into. Now I'm going on to the men. Look at the two. Look at now. Who do I pick? I'm going to go with Look at this. Oh, don't be raising your eyebrows, Chris. Now I see your eyebrows. Don't be raising your eyebrows.
Big caterpillars. Going to Spock mode.
I think we're going to go with Nick from Chicago because I know what they do in Chicago for St. Patrick's Day, and then say the best of that, Christopher.
Of course, yes.
So Nick, listen. Every year, Chicago River, it is green. I want to ask you first and foremost, as many people around the world want to know, is it safety for the fish wildlife that lives in the water? I know that sounds very kind of like Jenny kind of question, but is it safe for them?
Yes, it is. I mean, when they first started doing this, I think it was like kind of toxic, so they had to switch to like a different type of chemical that it's probably still green right now as we speak, but it does dissolve eventually. But it doesn't have any effect on the wildlife, fish or whatever. So that's
what we like.
That was something that had to be checked numerous times. Although I will tell you this though, this is going to be you'll find this interesting. Although the chemicals that they use for the river, which causes it to turn green, when it's shot out of the boats, that chemical is actually a different color. It's actually orange. First before and as soon as it makes contact with the water, that's when it turns green. So I'm not sure exactly what the chemical is, but I know it's been a chemical that they've used for years. Like I said, it's definitely safe.
Okay, that's just, and in Chicago, there's a lot of Irish people in Chicago. You're part Irish as well.
Yes, I am.
And I think I laughed at one of my friends' comments today, and I can't even remember it. I think I spent my bloody evening, an hour and a half, if not 2 hours, sending my poor Jacqueline. I sat on my computer looking up history and XYZ. No. Jennifer had spent her 2 hours of sending Jacqueline memes that I thought was absolutely hilarious. Some of them were just too funny that I just couldn't not send to her. And I did say to Jacqueline, please tell me to stop sending these memes. And she didn't. So I kept sending them. And I sent them to my daughter and I sent them to my twin and so on. So I sent about an hour and a half of memes to Jacqueline today when I should have been studying, but I wasn't. So I'm sorry for Jacqueline. But you had fun.
It was fun. Who cares? Who does it? It's a team, Jenny. You may be the founder, but it's a team.
I don't get any memes. We're gonna have to have a team chat.
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
One thing I also do want to point out, one other thing I want to point out too when it comes to Chicago is that while Chicago is known for having several different districts representing, different, people from different countries, undoubtedly, the Irish district is definitely one of the largest ones that we have. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if we have a lot of our cities here have as big diverse of these different districts as well. Maybe probably New York City, I'm sure, probably does the same thing. But for the most part, most other cities don't really have as many districts as we do. But I know the Irish district is definitely one of the largest.
It's crazy. I think when I see that the multitude of countries that go crazy over St. Patrick's Day, and I literally watched some of it today, and I'm like, I don't even know the full extreme of St. Patrick in Ireland. I know a little bit of him, and I love when we go to the pub and we all celebrate and shamrocks, and it's an Irish day, and I love it. But I'm like, the whole world celebrates St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
But I want to know do they know who St. Patrick is? Oh, just an Irish day that they just celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I have no idea.
So we had a not necessarily a documentary, but I told you about this the other day, Jenny, we have a public access channel.
Yes.
They have this video, St. Patrick's Day special that was being held at one of the large, at the Irish church, in fact, in downtown Chicago. And they had someone, don't start, Tom. So the guy that was there, he was really he really went quite to the amount of detail when it came to St. Patrick himself. And what kind of, and it wasn't just about St. Patrick, obviously. He was talking about other important parts of Ireland's history. And during that, what I think was great about this video that he did, in addition, he also sang classic Irish hits, obviously, like Wearing of the Green, what is that other one called? It'll come back to me. But yeah, he was singing all these classic ones, which was really well made. I mean, if it's ever on YouTube, I'm gonna have to send it to you guys so you guys can check it out.
Yeah, remember we were talking last week, Nick, and you were saying for your day, for St. Patrick's Day, you're going to play Daniel O'Donnell. Yeah. And I have to say to you, immediately I said to you, he's nice. He's nice, that's nice. He's nice. But I was kind of like, oh, Danny boy.
In addition to making that video, I've been listening to take care, Jillian.
Okay,
in addition to that video throughout most of today, because I think I told you before, I do have a St. Patrick's Day music list. So I've been listening to constant songs throughout most of today, including, of course, obviously, Danny Boy. It's just, and what better way to hear that song too than being sung, even though he's not from Ireland but does have Irish descent. And what better way to celebrate than hear this cover of Danny Boy from the great singer Bing.
Oh, listen! If anybody sings Danny Boy from no matter what part of the world they're singing it from, the minute you say, "Oh, Danny Boy," we're like,
yeah. My favorite.
We know it. We love it. We know it, and we love it. And
my favorite version is by Bing Crosby. He actually does it really well.
Oh, I see. When you say Bing Crosby, it's kind of like, okay, we're doing Bing Crosby. We love Bing Crosby.
I was listening to a Muppets version earlier, which was a bit special. Still brought a tear to my eye, especially when Beaker got involved.
Oh, I'm not going to say it.
Can't say it. We even have that song, believe it or not, on a jukebox down here. I mean, it's all the way on the other side. But it's it's an old record jukebox we have that has songs like anywhere between the 1940s and 80s. And among one of those songs, believe it or not, is Bing Crosby's Danny Boy.
You see, it's just one of those songs that anybody can sing and around the world. And we know you're taking, no matter what, if an Irish person is in 4 corners of 10 corners of the world, the minute you hear "Oh, Danny Boy," your heart is gone green again and right back to Ireland. It doesn't matter where you are. And no matter, even if you're not Irish, it'll bring you back to Ireland. "Oh, Danny Boy." It is just a fantastic, fantastic song. I know it so well.
Every time I hear Danny Boy, especially, like I said, by Bing Crosby's cover, like when you hear a lot of those old songs, I mean, even though it's music, not film, still you kind of get that black and white feeling like when you listen to an old song. I get that feeling, but at the same time, it's like black and white mixed in with green, obviously. So it's a very nice, and not just that song turns, because like Bing Crosby, he's basically obviously most people remember him for more of his Christmas music, but he's basically done almost every holiday. So it's like, and in addition to Danny Boy, he's done a few other Irish classics like "When Irish Eyes Are Smiling."
Yes. Oh my God. That song is not for me in the morning time because I ain't smiling in the morning. Bring my cup of tea. I love this. Yeah.
Grace, I think, is popular.
Go ahead, Jacqueline. Go ahead.
I think Grace is probably very popular at the moment, and also there's a few rebel songs that we shouldn't be talking about that'll be very popular at the moment, and Kneecap, because of Kneecap. But, also, I think, and it's Irish and Scottish. There's a lot of controversy about the Parting Glass, and it's sang at a lot of funerals here. The Parting Glass, which is very melancholy song, but I absolutely love it. Hozier does a great version of it.
There's a song that I played today on my Facebook page, and oh my goodness, I can tell you now, there's never a time I can listen to this song and never cry over it. And I got into, yeah, it could be that one. Yeah, and you see, knowing that I know the song, but I don't know. Yeah, I just can't. I know last October I was in Kilmainham jail. And I said to a friend of mine, and I said, because I've always been very wanted to go into Kilmainham jail. I knew of it, but not a lot about it until I got into it. And then I went into it. And I remember saying to my friend, and I held her arm and I said, oh my God, I think I'm going to cry. I said, I think I'm going to cry. We were brought into the chapel where they were married. And I just thought, I'm not going to make this tour. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make this tour. It was just too hard for me to make. But I did make it. Obviously, I did. I put my stuff together and got through the tour. Kilmainham jail is in Dublin. Kilmainham jail is, oh my goodness. If you come to Ireland, and Emma, have you been to Kilmainham jail?
Yeah, it's a fascinating place. Right? Yeah.
And Beth, have you been to Kilmainham jail?
No, I've never been.
We have to make a day out of it that we go to Kilmainham jail. It is, the minute you walk into it, it's not because of the history. It's the minute you walk in, it hits you in the chest of what happened in that jail.
Yeah.
And the most famous, I'm not going to use the word famous, people that was very strong and very well known and very powerful in Irish history spent time there. Countess Markievicz was there. You know, she's one of the women that I adore. I've been to her grave. Hopefully, can you hear my dog snoring?
The creature from the Black Lagoon.
That dog and it's snoring.
No, but Kilmainham jail is one of the most, it is the most, for me, the most powerful punch in the stomach historic places to ever go to when you're coming to Ireland. To go to, if you understand, when you understand Irish history, and you go into the yard, and you touch the stones, and you see that wall, and you understand what happened to these men for the rights of the country, it's mind blowing. It just, and that song, I heard it today, Jacqueline, and I even shared it on my page. And it's a song that
Grace?
Yeah. And it's a song that
it's a very, yeah. I mean, when you actually know the meaning behind it, it is heartbreaking.
The meaning behind it gets me all the time. It's not okay. It's not okay. And the fact what they had to go through for this, and I'm sorry, I'm going on too much about this because I didn't think I would, but it is, if you come to Ireland, go to Kilmainham jail. Kilmainham jail. If anybody wants to know where it is, if you come to Ireland, come to Kilmainham jail. It is.
Whereabouts is it? Where's it closest to in Ireland?
Right. Okay, Aisling. Yeah.
It's in Dublin, isn't it? Kilmainham.
Yeah, it's in Dublin. It's in Dublin City.
Yeah, it's in Dublin. Yeah, it is one of the. And I remember talking to the tour guide, and I went into the cells by myself. And touch the walls, as I always do, touch the walls. And we cannot go up the stairs. Nobody can go up the stairs. It's the second floor. Nobody for whatever reason can go up the stairs. But it's just, but the tour will bring you into the most known names in Ireland. The most known names in Ireland that only, I'm not going to say what Irish people know, but the most important people in Ireland, if that makes sense, who fought for Ireland, who literally gave up their lives to fight for Ireland.
I just remembered, and what I was saying before, I mean, this actually goes with what you were talking about, Jane, because I was thinking about like different songs and stuff. Like, yeah. I just remembered the one that I was forgetting. This involved, in fact, more of pretty much representing Ireland's independence, and also during World War I of Easter Sunday of 1916. was the song I was thinking of was Foggy Dew, which is all about fighting.
Yeah, I know the song.
Fighting for the freedom and independence of Ireland.
Right. You see, it's just, oh my goodness.
It's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of which,
yeah, it's a lot. I tell you,
we have only all these Irish songs are only either very sad songs because it's a sad history, or they're very songs that incite fighting. They're the only ones we do.
Well, it's funny with my music. Well, it's funny with my St. Patrick's Day music list. It actually goes between, like, for some periods, you get, like, obviously when you hear the beginning of it, you pretty much do have to start it obviously positive, and it's like a lot of the kind of rock and roll Irish music. What's that? Oh,
that's kind of difficult.
Yeah, it is kind of difficult, but I had to do a lot of searching for this. But then eventually it goes to a lot more of the calmer kind of music. But then as time goes on, it goes through kind of the more sad sounding types. It's almost like my music list kind of play with different emotions, if you will.
Yeah. When I listened to your song today of Daniel O'Donnell, and we were talking last week, and you were saying Daniel O'Donnell, and I'm like, oh, Nick. I said, Nick, you'll have to go and throwing the underwear at you. Don't be doing that. So if you're going to do old Danny Boy, but now that I heard it today, I was like, I get it. And I remember my twin was going to see a concert, and I said, oh, who are you going to see? She goes, oh, I'm going to see Daniel O'Donnell.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
She was going with her lovely mother-in-law, who I think she's as funny. She's lovely.
Excuse me.
And then, oh, bless you. Bless you.
Not going to lie, Jenny, that sounds like hell.
I tell you, I would have loved to go and have seen Daniel O'Donnell. I would have loved. I would have gotten rid of all my own knickers that I didn't want to use anymore and throw them at him.
Oh my God! I think you'd get arrested for that.
Well, Jenny would have left Brendan by then. No, seriously. Daniel O'Donnell he's like, what is he of Ireland?
Is he still alive?
The real patron saint.
The real St. Patrick. Saint Daniel.
He's extremely popular with a certain
age group.
Yeah.
Is he still alive though?
He is.
He's in his 60s now.
Mm.
Yeah,
I can't think of him without thinking of Owen McLove though, out of Father Ted.
Oh gosh, I love Father Ted.
It's funny because, like you were just mentioning, I told Jenny this last week where Daniel prefers a certain age group. In the video that I presented, and it was for
Irish mammies.
Yeah, very much. Well, in this video that I presented earlier, that I tagged Jenny in, this was a little bit different compared to his other performances because it was. You can clearly tell the audience it was more different ages this time than one group, and that's what I found kind of fascinating.
Yeah, because there is different, and can I tell you why I think there is different age groups? It's because they live in the country in the arse of nowhere, and they have no choice.
Yeah.
Listen, this sounds to me paranormal.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Some type of hypnotism, at least.
Yeah. My friend, Lord Rester, Sylvia, Lord Rester.
My grandmother loved Daniel.
I knew her since junior infants, and she had the coolest taste in music. She liked John Taylor, like just the Clash, you name it. But she had this thing about freaking Daniel O'Donnell, and we used to make such fun out of her, right? But her daughter,
I didn't know that.
She loved Daniel O'Donnell, and her daughter Ruth was only a toddler at the time, and she couldn't say Daniel O'Donnell, so she used to call him Ding and Dongan. So,
It's more accurate.
It gets better. So, like
I think
the thing here, Ding and Dong, and so the thing here in Ireland was like, you know, Dalian O'Donnell. It's like Nor soup. So he was like a thick country veg. That's Nor soup is thick country veg. So they used to call it Dalian O'Donnell soup. So to this day, we now call thick country vegetable soup Ding and Dong and soup.
What about, here's the thing, what about Riverdance? Has anybody's ever seen Riverdance? My grandmother.
Did we ever?
An amazing.
Just ask us if we've seen Riverdance.
I can't watch anything like that.
Jenny's reenacting it there.
There was a time in Ireland we only had the Eurovision for entertainment. We had no choice but to watch Riverdance.
I remember where I was sitting and what I was doing.
It was amazing.
When I watched Riverdance, I was like, and I was like, oh my god. And
it was not. Listen, it was. I went to Francis Fleming School of Irish Dance, and you learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was not Riverdance.
Every Shocked in a Gaeilge.
Second, I'll be right back.
In Ireland, we have Shocked in a Gaeilge in school that leads up to St. Patrick's Day. It's Irish Week. It goes on for 2 weeks. We don't talk about the fact that it goes on for 2 weeks.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead with your question. Sorry, because we said Riverdance and we just jumped in.
I was just asking Annie's if you ever really watched it. I mean, I've seen it a few times. My grandmother used to be right in it. She used to go, "Oh, look at that handsome young man."
Oh God, not Michael Flatley.
Look at that handsome. She's dead now. She's still alive. She's 105 or something like that. But she used to be. She had all the cassettes, all the video cassettes of Riverdance. I was like, "Oh God's sake, another night of Riverdance. Here we go."
Riverdance is now worldwide, and then Flatley, he's Canadian, and at one point he was
Irish.
No, he was Canadian Irish. He's Canadian Irish, and then he was like saying like he didn't like the Riverdance and it was a mistake and XYZ, and I'm thinking whatever. And then so the Riverdance is gone worldwide, like to this day it's still worldwide. Oh my God, Jennifer, get your W. Okay, I'm gonna have one Guinness. Hold on.
Have some more Guinness side. That'll help you.
Tongue loose.
It's worldwide. And it's
worldwide.
So I know I'm not gonna look this back over. But anyway, doesn't matter. But it's just that dance that he did at the Eurovision. What year? Can anybody remember the year?
Ooh.
No.
90s anyway.
In the 90s, yeah.
The 90s.
It was the 90s, yeah. It could have been 98 or something like that.
It was Ryan.
Let me look that up.
Ryan, the DJ Ryan.
Jerry Ryan.
Oh,
Jerry Ryan.
Yes. Jerry Ryan. And the other woman, I don't know who she is, but Jerry Ryan was there, and it was just, you see, I love the Riverdance. I'm Canadian, Irish, Scottish. You see, I 1994. Alicia, thank you so much. 1994.
There you go.
1994.
Was it 94?
That's taking the times. Go back there, right?
That was just the year after. That was just the year after I was born.
Oh, I was just
Before you were born.
I was like, really? I was sitting like,
You were born.
Just a couple of years before.
Yeah, just like a decade or two.
Young people. I was born in 1981. I'll have you know.
And one old friend of mine, her daughter does the Highland dancing. She from the north of Ireland, and she does the Highland dancing. Oh my gosh, it is absolutely fascinating to watch. Absolutely fascinating to watch.
Give me we made the school to do that. Do you know in Scottish schools you're actually made, well, they don't do it anymore, but long ago the Scottish schools made you do Highland dancing.
You have to do it you do it still in school in Ireland. You learn Irish dancing. You have to do either the Siege of Ennis or the Walls of Limerick. Depending on what county you're in, they have their own dance, and you have to learn that. You also learn knitting. You also learn the tin whistle. Like I used to get my mother.
They hot cross buns on the tin whistle.
What's the tin whistle? What's the tin whistle?
You don't know what tin whistle is?
Penny whistle.
Yeah.
It's like a recorder, but it's thin.
It has
It's
a resemblance. Yep.
It's mandatory in
Yeah.
primary school.
So the curriculum hasn't changed much. You still have to do the Irish dancing. You still have to learn the tin whistle, and you still have to do the bloody knitting.
Yeah,
I did the I did the knitting. Yeah, I've done knitting. I can sew. Yes, I'm a man.
No,
And I can admit I
I
can
my
knit.
mother to do my knitting homework.
I was put
I-
on
I-
I
pom-pom
used to
duty.
get
I'm a good
I
knitter.
was too bad at knitting.
play the tin whistle. Ashley,
I got Bessie's grandmother to do her knitting homework.
Ashleen, if you want to come on live and play the tin whistle, I'll send you the link. Let me
Do a
know.
rendition.
I'll send you the link.
That'd be awesome.
You can come on and play the tin whistle. We would love that. Who wants Ashleen to come on?
I know Aisling, and I know she'll do it.
We're raking about the now for it.
if she's got her tin whistle handy.
Ashleen, this is your platform. Come and play the tin whistle. We would love that. We would love that. Emma, get onto it.
This would definitely be interesting. Absolutely. Oh, she said she doesn't have one here.
Oh, very convenient, Aisling.
Convenient. I was getting excited there. I was getting excited.
Oh, I've broken my tin whistle.
Oh no! Yeah,
In my
That's
other
my husband looming in the background. He's
Not a
got
ghost.
he's got his St. Patrick's Day T-shirt on. It's
I thought he might have. I thought he was coming in with his tin whistle, Emma.
you got your tin whistle about your head?
Ashleen, come on.
No, he's lost it.
I left mine in my other school bag.
Oh,
Oh no, Ashleen, we need you with the tin whistle. Come on, girl.
you can't play that. That's a whistle.
Oh no. Okay, so who else can play an instrument? Because I cannot. The triangle. Ding, ding, ding.
Used to play the guitar years ago.
Becky plays the guitar.
Used to play clarinet.
That wasn't something I was going to offer up willingly, but thank
clarinet.
you.
I like the clarinet.
Yeah, I
Becky
used, to
plays
play,
the
I
kazoo.
used to play it a lot back when I was in middle and high school, but don't really play it as much like I used to.
I play the Native American flute, but I've been banned for playing it in the house by the European Union. I'm not allowed to play it.
Really? Wow.
Do you play it very aggressively or
I'm
something?
really bad at it. I'm really bad at it. It's a 3D printed one. It goes by quite a bit of money. I get somebody to 3D print it for me. It's actually quite nice. It's just across there, but it's 3D printed. It all comes apart. It's amazing how they can do that now with 3D printing stuff.
And you can,
Yeah, my son has a 3D printer.
okay,
Is it like
Who called that?
panpipes? Is it a panpipe thing or something like that? Or
It's American. Oh Jesus! It's an American Native American flute,
I might have to look that up.
give me 1 second, guys.
and you can get them online, but you have to put the order in. You pick what model you want, and then they print it for you. It costs about 40 to 50 quid.
You're
They
giving
get
me
it made.
ideas now. I might
And-
learn
and
how
then
to play that really
you send it to
aggressively
you
in my
in
house and
parts.
get banned.
They send it to you in parts, and then you put it all together. I'm diabolical at it. I'm absolutely diabolical. It's just out there. It's next to my TV, but it's amazing how you can see all the lines and all the layers of the plastic and how it's been made up. I don't know what that stuff is. Nick, do you came at that as with what kind of plastic they use with the 3D printers?
Yeah. You see, that's something I'm still kind of trying to understand, especially with the way how they're making it. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I do know what you're talking about, though.
Because I ken a few people that have actually thought about making ghost hunting equipment and 3D printing the cases.
Yeah,
My son has
the REM
3D
pods and
printer.
stuff
He prints
like
a
that.
lot of stuff on it.
yeah. I have
Yeah.
someone out there that actually makes us equipment on a regular basis, and it's been proven to be quite useful to use.
Yeah.
It does not disappoint.
It's expensive to 3D print.
I've heard that.
It is
Yeah, I mean,
expensive.
The plastic spools are
Yeah, it
expensive.
is expensive.
I also
Yeah,
have a
Sean,
buddy
my
of mine.
son does.
Yeah, I also have a buddy of mine who just recently he just got a 3D printer himself, and he's going to try out a few things with it. And even though, he lives a state away from me, although I'm not too far from the border from the Illinois-Wisconsin border. So he lives more up in Wisconsin, but he did tell me whenever the chance I'm able to come out, we're actually going to try out the 3D printer together and see what we can make out of it, because he definitely wants to try to come up with some new types of equipment.
Yeah. I've got a friend that's got a 3D printer. He paid something like, it was last year, I think it was about $5,000 or $6,000. Yeah, you can buy the cheap ones for like Amazon for like maybe like £1,800 or something like that. But that's cheap, and they're cheap for a reason.
Yeah,
I know a few
really
people have. You're the better quality you get, and it's amazing. Some of this stuff you can print a phone case. You can actually print parts for your car. See if you've got little plastic parts for your car that you break.
I've actually got a 3D printed version of me.
Yeah.
We went to and my husband's got one too. We went to a steampunk event, and they were offering it, and you had to stand inside something that would, scan you. We're all in our, steampunk gear. So we've got 2 little miniature versions of us in plastic, which will probably well outlast us.
Oh, good God.
Hundreds of years. Thousands.
There's an Irish surgeon that 3D prints prosthetics for children.
Yeah. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I know
that.
Something new every day.
Oh,
yeah.
Husband's just brought. They're alive. Tiny Emma.
Wow.
I was a little bit bigger then, but
you look like a suffragette.
I was dressed like a suffragette.
Yeah, I was just
you look exactly like a suffragette.
So yeah, once I'm gone, that's probably still going to be around for a good long while.
That's far more impressive.
Some archaeologist will dig that up. That's my husband.
They're
dig that up, and they'll be like, "These must be ritual items."
Yes, we'll put them in the museum.
You could
They're
print
from
some
the suffragette times.
or like voodoo dolls or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't give me ideas.
You haven't actually seen a voodoo doll? Is any's actually got any haunted objects?
I'm not quite sure, but I do buy a lot of antique and vintage stuff. So if anybody's going to get haunted by something like that, it's probably going to be me. I bought a lovely spooky little German 1800s little doll in Spain, but it was a German doll, and Bethany hates it.
No.
It's tiny. Yeah, she hates it.
Show them the 2 little dolls.
I have 2 French dolls I bought. Yeah, I bought 2 beautiful men. My men. They are they're about 350 years old. They're hand carved Celtic. They look like chieftains, but they're on either side of my stove, so they're oak. So if anyone's going to get haunted, I probably will eventually find something that's haunted. But and I also have lovely Sant'Antonino from Sorrento, who is standing on the devil, and he has a very strange long finger.
Yeah,
and I don't know what it's
placement.
Not quite sure what the devil was up to with Sant'Antonino, but yeah.
And Dr. Evil, Dr. Evil, no.
We also have the Ouija board in the shed that's wrapped in plastic and duct tape.
Oh, the Ouija board in the shed.
Oh, I'll never touch one of them. Never.
Wouldn't you?
I know.
No.
See,
I've
I'm
got too many
kind of
visitations
that,
at night,
Chris.
no.
I mean, I know people say there's ways to using it the correct way, but honestly, even though I do own one, and here's the funny thing, I do own one, but it didn't belong to me originally. It originally was a birthday gift for my sister over 20 years ago, like when she was 9 or 10 years old. And but I've kept it ever since. But yeah, for the most part, I don't use them either. I'm just that kind of person, I would say, when it comes to Ouija boards, I won't take part in it. I just like to watch.
I've got friends that do the table tipping and do the Ouija boards and stuff like that, but I would not touch them because I can't.
I'm not
convinced by them. You can open some doors that can't be closed.
Listen, not afraid of them, but not convinced by them either. I mean, it probably is idiomatic.
Yeah, I witnessed one once, and the stuff that happened, it was just weird because it knew answers to people that was playing that they didn't. It was like secrets that they had, and it knew. But then there's been times where I've been watching people doing the Ouija boards, and you can actually see them pushing it. So you're thinking to myself, that's a bit
really,
yeah.
Well, and I'll throw an example of that too. So obviously, I mean, I didn't get to really have the opportunity. I'm just going to say quick, I didn't really get to have the opportunity to introduce myself. But of course, I think a lot of you guys already know who I am, obviously.
You're kidding.
Chris, I know you do. So, but anyways, I've been doing this stuff now for 20 years, but during my early years of the paranormal, this goes back to my, you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Nope.
Maybe not.
Where's the holy war? Where's the page?
I think the spirits didn't want him to tell us. They stopped.
Anyway, this is very interesting. Do you have haunted objects, Chris?
No, I just have annoying spirits that visit me in the night all the time.
That's
all
the
the time. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's that bad, actually. They just sit at the bottom of my bed and stare at me.
Well,
as long as they stay there, that's fine.
If I didn't crawl across the bed and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that they're not that bad. They're not that bad.
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it was the spirits definitely stopping him.
They tried to silence you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it just happened. Oh my god, what's been going on?
Terrible
What I was
feeling.
going to say was,
It's just a story, and the spirits stopped
Where's
him.
Mrs. Doubtfire? She's still in here. Mrs. Doubtfire.
so what I was saying though was, during my early years of studying the paranormal, which was my years of high school.
Go on, Nick.
Yeah, during my early years of studying the paranormal, this goes back to my years of high school. I actually did run an after-school club that was called Paranormal Club, and here's the cool part: is that it's still running today. I founded it back in 2007, so it's been running for almost 20 years now.
Wow.
But among one of the first times that we started it, I was still learning then. At the time, I did bring the Ouija board over.
Oh my god!
Actually, I don't think we ever had as many kids as we did that showed up to. There had to have been like 30 or 40 kids that came out to this. I was really surprised by it. Even
wow.
And so, the sponsor I had at the time, along with myself, we again because I was only just a teen at that time. They were like, you guys want to try out the Ouija board? Now, I specifically didn't take part of it myself because honestly, I mean, it wasn't just because I didn't want to, but when they were doing the session, I was actually kind of walking around to make sure nobody was cheating, doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, the problem was you had like 30 or 40 kids all surrounding this Ouija board, putting their fingers on the planchettes, and they were asking questions. And then, some of the kids claimed that it was actually moving. Others were saying someone was pushing it, but 40 fingers on one planchette.
Right,
it's kind of hard to say. It's definitely kind of hard to tell if that's really paranormal or not.
Okay. The Ouija board is a very taboo subject when it comes to the paranormal.
I have no idea why.
I tell
Chris
you,
was the one who brought it up, so that's why I had to say something about it.
you see, the Ouija board, I think it's very funny. I think because as we all would know back in the day, it was a child's board game, and then they take them off the shelves. And these days, last year or 2 years ago, they took them off the shelves because they came back out as board games, and they took them off the shelves. And we were like, why let them delve into?
Hasbro. Yeah, sorry, Jenny. Go on.
No, go ahead, Jacqueline. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, Hasbro have brought a case against anybody who wants to call their board a Ouija board. So nobody in the world is allowed to call it a Ouija board anymore, except Hasbro, and everybody else has to call it a talking board.
Spirit board.
When you think that's so bloody crazy, because it's and people. I know when I've spoken to many people in the paranormal, And we've had discussions about this many times before. Like anything you open up in the paranormal, whether it be your like a recorder, anything that you use to open up to speak to the spirits or who don't know who we're speaking to, it's an open portal. And what we do at the end of a recording session, we will say thank you, goodbye, and end it up. Some people don't do that with the Ouija boards. They forget because they're so excited, right? They're so excited and they forget to do it. And I think movies have made that into a bad thing because
it's not uncommon for something like that to happen. But you know what? When this talk I brought up that when we used one at school, I still did remember, like, whether or not it was actually moving. I told everybody, when you guys end this, make sure you end it by placing the planchette to the goodbye section. So I did recall doing that. So again, whether or not there was actually something there communicating, I was at least able to direct go the right direction of that impression.
And even you knew at that time when to bring it back to the board and say no. Those who don't know it now have learned it from a negative side because of movies. And it's not always negative. It really isn't. And I know, as my team has been running for like 8 years now, that I've never used a Ouija board once on my investigations, like ever, because I don't want to. It doesn't document what I want to document. It does not research what I want to research. My documentation would be videos and audio. So the Ouija board is basically more for entertainment purposes only, and it's not for documentation. I do know, and I'm going to bring it up. I am going to bring it up. And I can see someone smiling right now. Yes, Jacqueline, it's you. Jacqueline has told me a story about her and Bethany's Ouija board. And there was one particular night, that myself and Jacqueline were talking. When I was talking to Jacqueline one night, and we were talking just before Jacqueline had joined Emerald Eye team, and we did an interview video call. That interview video call went on for, when you do an interview video call that goes on for like half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. No, not me and Jacqueline. No, not me and Jacqueline. 10 hours later.
Oh my God, she's 10 hours.
I am not lying of this. We were 10 hours later. Literally, because when we talk, oh Jesus, we talk.
Must be a good party on your phone.
That's a quick call, isn't it?
It's a little, I would say it's a little too quick.
Should have done 20.
It's like a long story short. Basically, with me and Jacqueline, it's a long story short. It's like an Irish long story short. It's not second short at all in any way, shape, or form. And then someone was telling me about this, a Ouija board. And I was like very intrigued about it. And then one time of that night, I said to Jacqueline, I said, you have to give him a name, because you're very adamant about him. And I said, you have to give him a name. No, this gets better. I said, you have to give him a name. You have to give him a name. And then me being me, and I always say, the longer you're in the paranormal, the more you open yourself up. You can be Tom, Dick, Harry, X, Y, Z, whatever your place in the paranormal field is. I find mine is clairaudient, where I will hear or feel a name. Do you ever get that you hear or feel a name? And I've done that in many locations where I've been right, and I'm shocked the shite out of myself that I was right. And I did say, Peter. I think you should call him Peter. His name is Peter, right? Just Peter from nowhere. Just Peter.
Peter the poltergeist. That's because I can't say name yet.
But then she was like, oh yeah, okay. So then he's in a black bag in the shed, like there's black bags around him in the shed. He's staying in the shed. And I said, I think you should take Peter out. Take Peter out. She was like, Jenny, no.
Last time I had Peter in my car, I had to sell my car, something went seriously wrong with it.
Right. You see? And she would never take Peter back in the car. And I said, take Peter in the car. I'll sit in the back seat with him. She will not take Peter in the car with her. And I would say, I would go to your house. I will take Peter and I'll put him under my arm and I'll take him along with me.
You have to walk 5 miles, Jenny.
Listen, me and Peter would be skippily diddly do again.
What is this? Are we actually talking about a Ouija board here? Peter, is this a doll? A Ouija board? I think we need to send it to
This is the Peter that's attached to the board. And I just said to Jacqueline, call him Peter. I just feel his name is Peter. Now it's Peter this, Peter that, Peter this, Peter that. And then one time I was out in shopping in town and I went into Primark or Pennies as we call it. And I bought these cheapy rings, whatever. And I just like these rings and I was looking for gold rings, you know, these cheapy, like the cluster of rings and whatever. So I bought them and I came home and I was like, you can take them all apart. So and they all have letters on them. And I just picked I'm looking for J for Jenny. And I couldn't find J. So I just picked a random, I just said, I'm too tired for shopping. So I just picked a random set of rings up. I came home, cut all the rings off and went through all of them. And I took a picture and I said to Jacqueline, I was like, I showed her the initial of my ring and it was a P.
You're married. You're married. You're in a long distance relationship now with Peter. You're actually married. Yeah, yourself and himself are married. So I have no hand after party.
You're like that woman who was married to the ghost of a pirate now.
Oh God!
And they split up, haven't they? They've divorced now, I believe.
Yes,
it's over.
I know her. I know her. Oh. I know her personally.
Oh. Of course you know her. Of course you do.
I'm not gonna say
you were jealous of the relationship and now you're with Peter, I see.
Peter's coming to see you.
Very annoying and pushy, just a heads up.
I know her. I know she's in the shed. But I think Peter and when I seen the ring Peter and I sent you the picture, Jacqueline, I said, are you bleeping kidding me?
Jenny, that was after the cat shenanigans. Listen, that was after the cat shenanigans.
Go and show
that was
Peter.
After the cat. When you went away for the weekend and you sent me the picture of...
Okay, I need to get my glasses.
I need to see Peter. Go and bring the board to and show us.
Oh my God, he's ducking in the ass in the shed. Don't mess with my car. I don't allow that.
She wouldn't even take him out from me. I'm going through.
No, and listen,
he's really annoying.
Do you remember me? You sent me the picture.
Yeah.
You went away for the weekend of the cat on your bed, and Jenny was away for the weekend. This beautiful place with a paranormal cat. And she sent me a picture of a cat in her bed, and she goes, "Oh, look! Of course, the cat came onto whose bed does the cat choose? My bed. The cat chooses my bed." And I said, "What's the cat's name, Jenny?" And she goes, "The cat's name is Peter." I said, "Good luck with that, Jenny."
The cat's name was Peter. Of the whole, the cat has been living there for years, and the cat's name is Peter. And I'm
fine.
And then you said to me, Jacqueline, what did you say the cat's name was again? I'm like,
I said, "Good luck with that."
Oh my God, the cat's name was Peter. Peter, here, come here. Get off my bed. Get off my bed, Peter. Get off my bed. No. I kept giving Peter sausages. I'm like, good boy, Peter, good boy. And I think Peter was a girl. So they didn't know what sex the cat
Jenny's
was.
going to be on the Daily Mail now tomorrow.
They didn't know what sex the cat was until I went in and checked the sex of the cat. And so Peter is a female. So, and Peter
That's the first thing I think of when I see a cat. I must check the sex of this cat.
Like you just came into the cat's house and
But I
kicked
do.
him off the bed and then
So the first thing you do is, what sex is your cat? I'm going to look.
the cat should do.
That's what I do.
Jenny.
I work in rescue, so I have to check if your cat is a male or female. If it's a male, I want to make sure it's neutered. So the only way I can rub the cat is to put my hand in between their back legs to check, see if they have their canulas there. And and then when you see, and then
Nick's getting excited, didn't you? It's in the bottom.
But I couldn't find it. I could not find it. So when the cat was on my bed, and then I was feeding it sausages, and then I lift up the tail to see if it's a male or female, and she's a female. I work in rescue. What can I say? I work in rescue.
Came into its house and violated it.
I can't.
It's sausages though. There was a bargain.
It was lying there. It was lying in its bed, just having a chilled out day. You burst in through the door and grab its legs and
throwing sausages at it as well.
I actually did.
Come here, Peter. Come here. Get a wee present for you. Peter.
It's just I have an immediate reaction to lift up its cat's tail to see if they're male or female.
Why?
Like,
something you should bring up in therapy.
My friend asked me, how do you know if it's a male or female? I don't know. By lifting up its tail,
Jenny,
male or female.
Are you aware that it's normal behaviour?
I think it's normal behaviour because I work in rescue, and it's just like every day when I see a cat, I need to know if it's male or female. Or a dog. It's my thing. You know, I'm in rescue more years than I have been in paranormal, so it's just my thing. And there's a country cat, so I want to know if the cat's neutered or not to make sure it's neutered and all that stuff. That's what I do. Anyway, so yes, I lift the cat's tail, and I put my hand between the back legs to see if it's not a male or female.
I don't know that much, Georgie.
Don't let me lift the tail. If they don't let me lift the tail, I'll put my hand between the back legs to see if I can feel them. If I don't feel them, then I have to lift up the tail to see if it's a female. And
you better not have done that, Georgie.
Will I tell you
I hope you don't do this in all investigations.
So you sign up for.
And that's why you're single, Jenny. Just saying. That's why you're single.
Peter,
you at least take them out for dinner first, though, before you do that.
I think we should change the subject right now.
You think?
That was such a lovely insight into your personality, Jenny. Thank you for sharing.
Beware cat owners. If you've got a ghost, Jenny will check.
I make sure there is non-unneeded litters in the country than there needs to be. That's my job. And if I have to check cat's balls, if they're there or not, and it's not paranormal, if I have to check cat's balls, I would check cat's balls if they're there or not. And if they're not there, then we're good. And if not, I have to lift up the tail and see if there's. And will I explain to you how?
You need to drop the shovel, Jenny.
Will I tell you? No, seriously. For all cat people, whoever watching, will I tell you how you know who's a male or female?
You've got those cat's ears. Be careful.
It's something that I've wondered when I've been sitting at the traffic lights and I've seen a cat sitting at the side of the road. I've wondered, is that cat a female or a male?
I wholeheartedly agree with the sentiment, but it was just a wild way of letting us know.
But you see, no, I'm going to give you a lesson. I'm going to give you a lesson, right? For people who don't know cats, if they're male or female, and I'm going to do this, right, because it needs to be known. If a female cat and you lift up the tail, and the two holes are together, it's a female. If they're further apart, it's a male. And now you'll know if a cat is like stray and they have bones getting neutered. So
I am never getting that close to a cat.
No. I don't have it neck, but
that's not you know, I don't have to be psychic. It's never happening.
I don't have dogs, right? Oh my god!
Listen. It's my job. If people are being an arsehole with the cats, I end up with the litter in my house.
I completely agree. It was just a really weird way to tell us.
Not a weird way because it's normal. This is female. This is male.
Completely natural.
Female, male.
When I
It's
joined
enormous,
tonight, I
yeah.
didn't think I'd be coming away with this type of learning experience. But I'm here for it.
James, we've learned something here. The
Next
next
time
investigation.
you sleep in my bed with my dog, Jenny.
Georgie, oh my
Very,
God.
very concerned for Georgie.
Listen, if it wasn't for me and everyone else around Ireland who works in rescue, we would be bombarded with kittens that people
I
just
completely
like,
agree.
left,
I
right,
just didn't
centre.
expect it.
That's my
My husband, Jenny, my husband is below in the bed and he can hear you, and he's actually petrified about the next time you visit.
Lift the tail. And have a good look.
Oh, the Lord Jesus suffering. Okay. Anyway, so investigation why.
Next Disney came out to say, he's just sitting there in shock.
I am teaching you. I am teaching you guys. I am not looking back over this live. I swear to God, I'm not looking back over
I'll
this.
be getting messages at 3:30 in the morning.
I think
Big arrows pointing at it and stuff.
I think we could clip a really lovely soundbite from you, Jenny. And use it to educate people about.
Let's-
Oh, God.
Okay, the next time I have a litter of kittens coming into me.
Yeah, we've got videos.
The next time I have a litter of kittens coming into me, you
God
have
help
one.
them.
You have one. You have one. You have one. And you have one. You're all getting a litter of these kittens that come to my home. You're welcome. You're
Oh, God.
welcome. It's my
Do we have to sex them ourselves though? No, you've taught us.
Do we have to check if they're male or
Yeah.
female?
Like we've learned here today.
You give us like a little booklet tells us page by page today. Lift, poke.
Alicia has a cat right now that's waiting to get neutered, so she will use this information.
Yep.
Very good, Alicia.
She has a new kitten.
It's a bit educational.
I will come in the cat. Lift up a tail and I'll tell you what sex it is in 2 seconds.
Well, Alicia is very good for rescuing the old cats now, I have to say, in fairness.
Well, they choose to live with her, and she can't say no. So
That's basically it. You live with Alicia and she can't say
yeah,
no.
she has one cat that decided to live with her, and then her cat brought home another cat.
And is the cat male or female?
They're both boys.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, good.
Yeah, they're both boys. One's neutered and one's pending.
No, that's a shame.
You see, if they're constantly rescued, they still
Thinking
need
for
to
the
be neutered.
snap.
Yeah, no, they will be neutered.
They still
Yes,
need
you are being outed. They're called Biscuit and Flapjack. They're the cat's names.
They still need to
Flapjack.
be neutered. You see, I just do rescue 24/7, so that's my job and that's what I do. So, listen.
I'm going to have terrible dreams in there.
No, no.
Keep your tail down, Chris.
Jenny will be running after me. I'm only going to check you. I'm only going to check you. It's a haunted castle. I can't escape.
I can't wait for our next investigation.
I know.
The next time you all call me and say, Jenny, I need help with a kitten, I'm going to say, fuck you. Fuck.
You're going to say, lift the tail.
I'm going to say, no, you didn't listen to me. It's okay. What do I know? I know nothing. What would I know? I know nothing. Okay, next topic, please.
Blame his flag.
Wow.
Yeah.
And children, that's the reason why we don't play with Ouija boards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's amazing how we started talking about Ouija boards and then started talking about how to check a cat's scent. Let's bring another subject up and bring something else in there, you know.
Let me tell you about something that we're doing next week. I know I'm going to sound very boring right now, but apart from
Really?
apart from bombshell of Jenny. Let me tell you what we're doing next week. Actually, do you know what? Actually, I have to recoil a little bit more now because we have interviewed everyone apart from Christopher.
Really?
And
imagine that.
before I get into imagine that.
Wait now, where I say I bring her out now and again. Mrs. Doubtfire's the name. Balls. Mrs. Doubtfire. I had a couple of cats when I was a younger lady. Jeez. There's that handsome man in the corner there. His name's Nick.
No, Christopher, in your show, you have to say shaking that shirt. Shaking that shirt.
No, that's what was it, kid when I'm James Bond. My name's Miss Moneypenny.
Oh.
What? You went to kid when I'm not shaking no, I can't say that word. Shaking Shaking what?
Shaking not stirred.
Shaking not very good. You nearly got me.
No, it's real. It's shaking not stirred.
Miss Moneypenny. Licensed to check cats. I'm not going to let this down. I'm going to keep this.
No,
it's immortalized forever on YouTube.
Chris, you're going to become known as the cat lady.
What? It's a cat?
As the cat lady.
Yeah, and speaking of cats, I got my cat laying over here. You can't see her on camera, but she's sleeping.
I'd say he's shaking in his boots, Nick, listening to Jenny.
Oh, God.
We love you so much, Jenny.
You do, Jenny. The poor microphone.
Oh, no.
You feel better? Happy thoughts.
A nice cleansing breath.
I literally forgot my question.
You were going to do Chris. I didn't forget.
Go for it,
Chris's turn.
I didn't forget. You were going to interview Chris because he didn't get any turn.
Chris. Christopher.
Yes.
Mole. As people forget, your name is Moule, and they say Mule. Yes. How would you like your surname to be pronounced?
Well, it's Mole. It's actually Mule because my great-grandfather was French. Moulet is actually French for mustard.
You know, and it's funny. That's kind of similar to my last name. It's Mule in this case.
What relatives?
There is one difference. Although I actually did recently discover I also have some French. I also did discover I have some French ancestry as well.
That's
but the Mule actually comes from is actually more from Italy. Because my grandfather, before he died, his last name, unlike what you guys see now where it's spelled Mulae, before then it was just Mule. But with the Italian term, the E was kind of slurred out, as if that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah, it'd be taken out a wee bit.
Nah. Everybody gets my name wrong. It's always the same. Every single time they get my name wrong.
Oh, Christopher.
Yes.
Oh, Christopher. What got you into this field of this craziness of why the fuck do you do what you do?
I don't know. I'm actually starting to wonder that myself. I should maybe get myself sectioned or something like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know why I do this kind of. I mean, I used to be. I've always been interested in the paranormal. Right, I've always been interested in the paranormal. I had weird experiences when I was young. Then I got into the podcast, and I've met some amazingly interesting people over the years. And then I got into my tarot reading, and I just find that the tarot reading is my thing now. It's what I like
brilliant.
Today.
It's brilliant. We've watched your shows. We have watched your readings. Listen, because you know me, I see you doing the cards and whatnot, and you couldn't say what you say, even though you know me, and I know you, obviously, and that sounds so stupid. I know you and you know me. I know you and you know me.
Very ever.
It's just like you when I see you reading other people, it's And it's spot on. And not only that, when I see you reading cards, you will see people reading cards and they're like, mundane and very, serious and whatnot. You're funny. You're funny. You get excited. Oh, no, Jim. Did you see that cotton me? Did you see that cotton me? And you're like so excited over it. So that's what
I find it interesting because it's kind of like Jerry Springer, but it's cards. You get to learn people's insights, It's interesting. Some people are going to read the tale with love. Some will be money that comes through. Some will be that they're wanting love. Because there'll be people that comes to my lives every single day.
Yes.
And all they want to ken is if they're going to fall in love with somebody. It'll happen when it happens.
But you do it because I think, when you're not used to doing something and you don't know if you're good at it or not, and you're not too sure, but you need to do it and you want to do it. And the more you do it, the more you get better at it. And the more, like I always say, when it comes to paranormal and it comes to paranormal research and investigations, and you have people like 1 or 2 years and they go, I can feel and see this. I love that for them.
Well,
I hope you get that.
I've had this pack of cards in my hand for about 6 months now, and I've done 1,987 readings with this one pack.
Wow.
That's insane.
Right.
That's incredible.
I've got a wee clicker thing that's on the table, and every time I do a reading, I click it, and it goes up. And that's how many readings that I've done with that pack. I've got another pack there that's had maybe about 900 readings with it.
That's mad. You see, when you, like I was saying, like when when you're first, I have cards here and I will not read them because I would have no absolute idea what I'm reading. Even though I have the book and whatnot, I would have no idea what I'm reading. And I'm very procrastinating with it. And I'm very I kind of don't want to read my own cards and whatnot. But the more you're in paranormal, the more you are very open to the locations that you're going to, especially locations that you do for many, many years. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe the next time you do an investigation, I want you to take a pack of cards with you, right? And I want you to shuffle the cards, and then I want you to place 3 down, but make sure you can't see their faces, and none of the teams to see the faces, right? Then I know you can do this with playing cards, but I want you to set a voice recorder next to it and see if you can get the spirits to tell you what's there. And then if they say like the Ace of Pentacles or something like that, and then you turn it over, and amongst it there's the Ace of Pentacles or the Queen of Swords or the Two of Cups, anything like that. Yeah,
just to record and video it to make sure everything is like video, doing it physically and recording it at the same time. I find like it's very, like I was saying, that it was very, the more you get into what you get into, and I didn't do it because I would not get into it because I don't think I'd be okay with it. When it comes to paranormal research or being involved in paranormal field, that I'm in it 18 years and I'm afraid to even say frickin' 19 years. I'm afraid to say 19 years. That's a bad thing. Not a bad thing, but like 19 years is a long time. But you open yourself up even more into everything. Like I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I first started joining paranormal. And then going years and years and years and years and years into it. And then I got involved in audio work. And then I got involved in more. And then I ran my own team. So I had to be head of it and, control it and do what I was doing. Then I became more in tune with it, if that makes sense, to the point of, I will say the word clairaudient, where I would hear a name, not in every investigation or in every location or anything like that, but I will definitely hear a name or something like that.
It's kind of like me. I've been getting right into the paranormal. I mean, I get right into the spiritual readings and stuff, not just tarot now. And I'm going to admit, I do see things behind people sometimes. I do see things moving behind people sometimes. And you'll see me sometimes if we're on a live with somebody, you'll see me like looking, because I'll be watching like something climb up somebody's wall or something moving in the background and creeping about.
Like climbing up someone's wall. That's not.
I wouldn't say it's that bad because spirits are spirits. They can do what they want. They can just float about.
Bethany, what do you think, Jacqueline? Climbing up someone's wall. If Chris is doing a reading and someone is climbing up a wall that Chris could see in the reading, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I mean, for me, I don't know. But climbing up a wall.
Feel a bit
There's going to be a thing climbing on my walls.
Huh?
There's nothing going to be on my walls except cobwebs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like.
Feel a bit hideous.
It's
Listen,
weird.
I barely allow people in my house.
Do you guys believe in
Ashley saying, do you guys believe in the superstition that you should never buy your first tarot tarot cards? I heard it recently on the podcast. No, do you know what? I know when I bought tarot cards off a Facebook site one time, and I did not know how to clear them or whatever. I just went and used them, nilly-willy, whatever.
Yeah.
But I have learned since then that you have to cleanse them after everything. So I do agree with Aisling. I would. Tarot cards, I know that say they'll pass down to you. I've bought tarot cards here, and they're here behind me, but I've never used them. Oh, I've just dropped my lights. But I've never really used them.
They're good cards.
I've never
The
used
Book of
them.
Shadows.
There's a dark and a light side to it. And I've used them, say, twice, I think, in about a year and a half, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I would literally pass them down to anyone who wanted them, because I will never, ever use them on myself. I would give them to anyone who wants them.
I can't read myself. I always get somebody else to give me a reading. I go to Lisa Fry and she gives me a reading. I can't read myself. Some people can't read themselves. Some people can. I just can't do it. I can't do it for myself.
I just wouldn't do it. I don't know how to do it. I'm afraid if I see something bad, and I think I would put negative.
See, you've got to remember, if you go into the TikTok realm, you'll get a lot of people out there that that do the readings for people and they don't know the meanings. They don't know the meanings. Because I seen a guy the other night there and there was a woman actually, and she pulled the death card for someone.
Okay.
And she went, "Oh, you're going to die. Oh, you're going to die. You're going to die." And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, the death card doesn't mean that. It means rebirth. It means transitioning. Yeah. And then she threw out the devil, and then she put the devil. And it depends on what way the devil up. I mean, if the devil's in reverse, you're breaking free, you're overcoming addictions and stuff like that. Or if it's running the other way, it means you've been through quite a lot. Well, she was basically saying that the devil was coming to get her if she didn't donate to the channel and stuff like that. I'm sitting there like,
Emma, what do you think? Emma, what do you think of the cards, the card readings, the tarot cards? What do you think of them?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry, I went for my comfort break and forgot. I don't know if it's anything supernatural or necessarily mystical.
Hi, Ed.
But I think maybe they help you figure out things yourself. You get those symbols there, and you start to kind of like learn yourself the answer to the question that you've answered in your head. You've asked in your head. So yeah, I'm not necessarily sure they're mystical as such, or anything like that. But I've not really had too much experience of them. Although Ed brought me he wanted to show off his Summerisle's Arcana.
Oh, sure.
Oh, they're nice.
Oh, wow.
You got the wicker man there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And death. And the devil. Lord
I got a new
Summerisle.
packet the other day. They're Jenny will laugh at this. What are the mushroom ones?
Oh.
Jenny, I've got cards everywhere. I mean, I've got cards.
You would love the mushroom ones.
Everywhere. Oh, the mushroom ones are beautiful. They're all like. It's actually quite interesting because it tells you the name of the fungus. It tells you the name in the cards. It's quite honestly. There's the 10 of swords, right? But it's like it's all the different types of real fungus you actually get in the world. So it's kind of like so it tells you the name and then it tells you the Latin name for it, and it's quite an interesting thing. It's like everybody learns. There's that many different packs of tarot cards out there. It's not just the generic ones. you can get pictures of there's that many different pictures you get. I've got that. I'll tell you what I have got, and it was a collector's edition. You remember the lost crystal? Is it the crystal? You can the dark crystal.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right, I'll show you those. These are
I got the labyrinth ones.
Right, these are I got them because they were a limited edition. The dark crystal.
That's amazing.
That's really cool.
Some of the cards are so beautiful.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
But you have to learn. I'm still in the process of learning the dark crystal because you've got a big book with us. But they're absolutely stunning. I mean, you've got there's the chariot, so you've got the characters from the dark crystal.
Do you know what, Chris? If you don't mind.
Let me get the diamonds and stuff like that.
You don't have to if you don't.
If you want one person, I'll do one person. It's just because I have a TikTok tomorrow and I need to be fully charged for TikTok because I usually do TikTok for 2 hours tomorrow.
Could you do
randomly pick somebody? Why don't you pick somebody that's what? No, I wouldn't say somebody in the chat. Why don't you pick whenever, like Nick or like somebody for the?
Okay, so for a card reading on the panel,
why not?
You know what? I let you choose it because you're doing the card reading. So whatever brings them to you, you can do it.
I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious to give Nick one. I don't know. There's just something about Nick. I like to use people as test subjects now and again, but Nick needs a card.
Sure, go right ahead.
Let's see what this says because I do feel a weird energy around it, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me in my kind of mystical way. Maybe it's my gummy bears that I had a wee while ago. But I don't know. But I'll give you 5, right? Because I don't want to tire myself much because I'm doing shows today and stuff like that.
Yeah, because now what you said, that definitely makes me curious.
Well, you've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I do feel like in the last few weeks to a month ago, you have had some type of misfortune, some type of bad luck, Nick.
Yes.
But I do see some type of unwelcome change within your life. But then you have the Queen of Pentacles also in reverse, which is interesting. I do see somebody round about you that's caused you problems. And I don't know if this person's overly ambitious, but this person's also jealous of something within your life. Then you get the Six of Cups, but the Six of Cups can mean many things, but it's in reverse, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that you have to let something go from the past. There's something that you have to get rid of from the past. I also feel like you had to grow up really quick when you were young. Do you understand where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
See, you do have the 9 of Pentacles, which is really interesting. Because I do feel that you're about to get your independence in something. There's something about to come into you that's about to give you security and prosperity. But this has got to take a lot of discipline within your life. Now I'll shuffle it again, right? Because I usually don't shuffle it again. I usually just draw like someday 5 cards, but because this is a special night, we'll keep going with that. So I'm not using any of the spiritual cards tonight because I'm quite tired after doing all my spiritual readings today. See, it's interesting with the 5 of Swords because I do feel sometimes you want to surrender to something within the past. I do see people that bullied you also, Nick. Someone did bully you from the past. I also feel like you need to walk away from this situation. You've got the 4 of Wands. Now, the 4 of Wands is an interesting card because it can mean so many things. But I do see something, it's like your self-esteem's coming back and prosperity again is coming back to you. But there is some type of gathering that you're just got to be going to, and it's going to be soon, I'm getting told. See, the 3 Pentacles, and this is to do with business. I don't know what this is to do with. It's something that you're working on. I see teamwork, learning, and also see motivation back within your life. But you also have the Magician. Now, the Magicians are very powerful. It's telling me you have the skill and you have the power within you to change your life. But you also have the power to manifest. Now, remember you had the last card before was the Magician. And then Yeah, okay, so that's manifestation power. And I do feel that I wouldn't say it was in your life, I would say it was more business related. It's something that you're trying to build, I'm getting told right now. So let's see where this is going.
Yeah, because I'm really that's really fascinating.
Don't tell me, please, don't, because there's a lot of tarot readers out there that will want to learn stuff off of you, and they're no tarot readers, and they're just learning. They're going with what you've told them. So I don't like to know until the very end. So
yeah,
let's see. So let's see. You've got the Two of Cups. You have some type of partnership coming in, but this could be a relationship too. I do see some type of proposal. I see some type of love. There is someone round about you. And I do feel like in the future, this could either lead to romance or even a wedding of some kind. It's interesting with the Chariot card, because I do see you have the ambition. You just need to tap into correctly. I also feel like your hard work and your focus will bring you conquest. You're about to get conquest in something. What's this conquest? That's interesting, the King of Cups. Because it's telling me that you are a very balanced person. But you're a very family-orientated person, aren't you? You like to look after your family. I don't know if you've got brothers or sisters or that. It's as if you would do anything for, like, maybe your father, your mum. I don't know what's in your life, but I do feel you're very family-orientated. But let's see where this is going. See, you do have the Knight of Cups again. Now, that's interesting because I do see that relationship within again. I do see that you're about to take action in something to do with a relationship in the future. So you also have the World card. Now, that's a really good card. It's telling me that you are going to feel like you belong for the first time in a long time. You're going to feel like you have done something to change the world. Yeah, sense of victory there. See, the Two of Pentacles has come up, and I see more balance coming to your life, but not just balance coming to your life. I do feel like this has got to take some decisions only you can make, like financial kind of decisions. See, with the 10 of Wands in reverse, I do feel like you've suffered quite a lot. I don't know if it's physical exhaustion or mental exhaustion within your life. I do see the problems. Let's shuffle this one more time. This is interesting, isn't it? Let's see. See what I mean? Like, it's like the Jerry Springer story. You get to learn things about people.
I know, right?
It's great to hear, Joanne.
So let's see. See, the Seven of Swords has come out for you, and that's really interesting because I see lies and deceit. But this is in the past. I also feel like people are spying on you, and I don't know why I see that. I don't know if this is family, friends, or this is somebody in the internet community, but I do feel that there's people out there, so please be careful. It's as if they're after your idea. Do you understand? Or you've had trouble with them in the past. You've got the Six of Pentacles. Now, that can mean that there is something about to come into your life. This could be a scholarship. This could be a donation. Someone could bring money into your life. But you are about to be valued for who you truly are. You've got the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands is telling me you're very revolutionary, aren't you? I'm getting a revolutionary feel off of you. You're kind of like one of those, like, when was the Revolution War in America? You ever hear the band and that? I feel like you're like a revolutionary. That's what I feel that you're like. But I also feel that you're very open-minded. Very open-minded. And I don't know what it is. I don't want to say this, but you are like a hero, and I don't know why that is. To someone's eyes, you're a hero right now. See, with the Five of Cups, I'm going to say right now, I do see sadness in the past. There is sadness that you carry, but there's also heartbreak and disappointment. I'm going to give you one more card, and then I'm going to end it. See, with the Six of Wands, I'm going to tell you will get your self-esteem back, right? You are going to have some type of good news coming into you again, and your confidence is coming back. How's that, Nick?
That was really well done. I really like that a lot. Thank you so much.
No problem.
That was amazing. That was brilliant. Thank you so much, Chris, for doing that. That was
no problem.
Thank you so much for doing that.
I will admit one thing, basically, because obviously I didn't want to say anything when he was doing the reading. There was something that I recently had been disappointed about, and I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but at the same time, though, as someone who grew up with it, it's kind of a different story. But I know this is may sound ridiculous, but just hear me out. There was a old television show I used to watch when I was very young, and I'm not necessarily going to, I don't even really want to say the name because I don't want to get the negative reactions from it.
Right.
But it was a show that was huge, for kids back in the late 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And, a lot of people didn't like it when it came out, but I didn't realize there was such a negative reaction to it at the same time that some people even went toward violence to it. And when I recently, and when I recently discovered I don't know how I missed this, there was at least 2 or 3 years ago now, a documentary was made about this. That's where I got more exposed to the raw reality behind the show. And it was unfortunate. Even my mom was telling me, because, the weirdest thing is you had all these other show hosts, like these other, hosts of different shows from that era that took, and believe it or not, in spite that this was for a kid's show, because obviously it was aimed towards us who grew up with it. It was not meant for like actual kids, obviously, because they said it was kind of exploring the dark side of things. So when I saw that, I did see the trailer of it, but what should have been a nostalgic trip from something that was great so long ago, it made me have second thoughts. And even my mom said, I don't know if you'd want to watch this because this it might put you into a position that you may not take it too lightly. And even the trailer itself gave me that bit of sadness because I thought it was going to be the opposite. And that's not that. Unfortunately, that's not what the case was. Unfortunately,
right? Exactly. It's just, excuse me, my throat. I think within the whole night that we've had tonight, and we are going to end it now in the next 2 minutes. It's just a platform of everything that we're talking about tonight between St. Patrick and the countries that we were going through and the people that came on to the show tonight. I just think it's just brilliant. This is what we do, and this is why we do it. It's what we do and why we do it. And I'm just going to say thank you so much to everyone. If we can, in the background, we'll have a wee chat in the background. What I'm going to say thank you to everyone who has commented and chatted tonight and who shared it and reposted it and so on and so on and so on. It is now we are about 15 minutes over time, and I know someone else's show is going ahead of us. I want to say thank you so much to everyone. Jacqueline, Bethany, my team members, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you, Founder.
Anytime, Founder.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, okay, we're going to talk about that later. Christopher, my right-hand man, my best friend, my right-hand man, Christopher Mole.
Yeah.
No, let's say Muley
That's
or
all right.
Mole. It doesn't matter. I say
That's
Muley or
fine.
Mole.
It's fine. It's fine.
I will say, Nick Muley, you might. Oh, listen, I know you many years, Nick. We've been through many shows. Thank you so much, and I know you're such an Irish Patreon. You really do. You really are. And I love you that you came on here on my show tonight. And
thanks so much for inviting me. And I gotta admit, I don't think this could have gone any perfect because as you know, we pretty much had a lot of the celebrations yesterday because a lot of us were off work, obviously. And like I said, we probably didn't come. I don't think we could have came at a better time to see the Chicago River Green. And I also forgot to mention too, shortly after that, I met up with my mom's side of the family. We had corned beef and cabbage, obviously. We had all the great stuff. So
I want to ask you, what the frick is corned beef?
Corned beef's great.
So corned
beef's unreal.
So corned beef, it's pretty much it's just like a typical beef, but it's got like a type of sweet salt on it.
Yeah.
So here's the crazy thing is that I will eat it, but I'm not that crazy of it because it just tastes too sweet for the most part.
Corned beef is what we had when we were like when I was younger, corned beef would have sliced corned beef sandwiches.
I love a corned beef toasty.
Yeah.
See, as I would say, I mean, corned beef, as I would say, you know, corned beef isn't bad. I mean, it's just, I probably won't, I mean, I don't usually have that, obviously, like on a regular basis, but if somebody has it, like in this case at a family party around St. Patrick's Day, I'll eat it, but I just don't eat it too often. But in addition, then, this is where we're actually going to be having tonight is, I know it's going to sound more Italian flavor, but it still keeps the Irish theme to it. And we got Costco over here, and Costco, what they do is they have like a type of ravioli, and they've been doing this for the last couple of years, in which they basically make like holiday edition types of ravioli. So in this case, they made shamrock shaped raviolis, which it's like green on one side, white on the other. And the best part is it has Irish cheese in it. It's so good.
I know it.
We love cheese.
We love in Ireland. We love cheese. Pick a cheese.
That Irish cheese they have, I mean, yeah, it's out of this world.
If it's dairy, Irish people are in, like butter. Cheese.
Exactly.
Cheese. We have a cheese. What cheese you want? Hard cheese, soft cheese, middle cheese. We have cheese. We give you cheese everywhere. We love cheese.
We love cows.
Well, it's Chris. It's funny too because I'm also concerned. I'm just an hour again. Like I said, I'm just an hour away from the Illinois-Wisconsin border. Obviously, in Wisconsin, is known as the dairy state. Obviously, because that's where they make a lot of milk and cheese too.
We love Wisconsin. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is going to say good night. Thank you so much again. See, this is what we always do. The Irish long, short, goodbye.
No, that's just you, Jenny.
Says you.
Why, Bethany? I'm so glad you said that because I know what she's like. I know what she's
You're
like.
as bad as each other. Sitting in the car with you was another experience. Swear to God.
My mother says it. God made us and the devil matched us.
Listen, I know. Listen, Jacqueline. Listen. Like when I first interviewed you for like 5 minutes or half an hour, 10 hours later, and then I thought to myself, "Holy!" I met my Madge, and then I can't even get a word in. Remember, we were in a Cork, and I said to Jacqueline, I said, "If you don't shut the." Let me talk. And Bethany looked at me, she goes, I know. And
I'm like your carer. Fair of you.
I know.
Bethany is like our carer on investigations. She definitely is like our carer.
It was just, Chris is saying his iPad died.
Oh, his iPad died. Okay. Yeah, because I was like wondering, where the hell did he go?
I'd say it's the spirits. I'd say it's the spirits.
I'd say it's his fucking legs from sitting on the chair for like 2.5 hours. He goes, oh, Jenny. I need to walk on that. So he's like, I know he's saying like, oh, Jenny. I need to walk down. And so that's what he's doing right now. And I know he's looking at this, saying, I don't talk like that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So anyway, right, again, third time Irish, say goodbye. I think I should let Jacqueline say good night, because if I do, I'll just keep talking and people will keep talking and I will like them too.
Yeah. It's hard to stop.
The minute you say good night, Jacqueline, I'll take everyone in the background and play the outro and then lights, camera, action.
I would just like to say thank you. Great to meet you, Emma. Great to meet you, Nick. And we're going to say Ihawa.
Yeah, even though I've met Chris and obviously Jenny before, it was definitely nice to meet the rest of you guys.
Great. Yeah, it was great. Really interesting.
And I was totally lying when I said that. I just wanted to say it. I'm joking when I said that. Don't believe it, Jennifer. I'm just joking. Anyway, okay, right, we're gone. Okay, good night.
99.
Patrick said.
Bye-bye.
Anyone who wants to stay in the background, stay in the background. Hopefully you do, and the rest. We will be not this week, but the following Friday. We are going to be in Leap Castle. We are going to be investigating Leap Castle. We will go live for about an hour. We're doing experiments and whatnot in it. That will be put forward in the later post, but we are going to Leap Castle on the 28th of March. We are going to Leap Castle, and it's going to be an amazing night. So bringing everyone into the background. Sláinte.
Bye.
Sláinte. I always want to leave someone else behind, but I won't. It's just me.